comes to, you know, being the team to choose the game mode for game 2. That's going to be the loser of game 1 that picks that game mode for the second game. So, yeah, G2 Space Station, you know, I think you've got to go G2 here. I think, you know, they are the better 3v3 team, and we're gonna have 3 games of 3v3. Oh, that's a great save, but not good enough. JNaps puts in the first goal. Yeah, G2, they have to just be winning this with how many 3v3 wins they've already put on the board this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be difficult for Space Station, right? You have to replace Daniel with Hoxer. They're still trying to find their way with this new team, and then you just have veteran G2 standing in the way. It really can't... It doesn't get much more difficult for Space Station, and G2 already getting that first goal, setting the tone, just like G2 did last time against Koi. You know, Space Station, they do have some long-time players on the team, Arsenal specifically, but... You know, they're going to need that full team effort here against G2.
And remember as well, the loser of this match will be playing again later today to try and qualify for Gamers 8 through the lower bracket against Optic Gaming. So I know that there's a lot of fans who are hoping to see a Space Station versus Optic in the lower bracket, not just G2 fans who would know that that would also mean G2 have already qualified, but I think Optic fans as well, they would love a piece of that with a history between Retals and Arsenal. Who knows, maybe Retals would ask AJ, give me the controller, let me take on Arsenal in 1v1. This is personal.
That might be the one we see him play on. The pass from LJ, so close to connecting. It was just a little too tight. Now this pass, a weak shot from Arsenal with no boost. He side flipped into the ball, got no power on it, and G2 get out.
Yeah, it's promising signs from Space Station that they can fight for the midfield against G2, who swarms so many of their teams they go up against these days. Yeah, still, you know, just so far from basically what we've seen, just more confident that G2 are going to be the team to come out on top here. You know, Space Station have got LJ, the 2v2 world record MMR holder, but, you know, I don't know if that's going to be enough against a team who are so good in 3v3 and also have Atomic in form. Atomic was fantastic earlier on today against 1v1 main, getting a win to help G2 sweep their opening match.
I mean, LJ being high in that 2's MMR, getting the world record, as you said, I mean, it only takes you so far because you also got to deal with Chicago and Atomic in the 2v2, and it's just going to be difficult no matter which way Space Station decide to swing it. They've had issues generating offense. They've been able to handle business on the orange half, keep the ball out. They have a little bit of pressure, a decent try from LJ, but turned away. Now Arsenal's slowing it down. And a good try there for Space Station, but G2 do get another clear.
Yeah, composed defense there from Chicago in a 1v2. Just took his time, got goal side, and very quick play from JNaps in the follow-up as well. This is all looking good for G2 here. They've got their usual gameplay fully functional, but you know, the question from G2 this season and this year has been about consistency and, you know, probably more importantly, mechanical consistency. I think they, right now, are looking brilliant in that aspect. Again, Chicago too quick for Space Station. The near post keeps Space Station at a 1-goal deficit.
Waiting for Hoxer to take that next step as a player. He's always shown the spots of it over time. Think back to his time on Ghost. You know, he routinely looked like the best player on that team, and maybe if you could get a different cast around him, he'll start to pop off and really show his colors. But he's not had the best time here in this 3v3 game. They've been trying. I think LJ has really looked the best so far. Been facilitating the offense. He even had that shot attempt that was blocked by Chicago. Gets another pass out and open net off the demo, and Hoxer will collect the tying goal.
Oh, I don't think G2 realized just how desperate this situation was. Tomic slow playing in the back corner. We've got another G2 player upfield, Chicago, making a boost run. And JNaps got sniped. 1-1, Space Station puts it together.
All you need is that one try. The demos come out for Space Station. And LJ getting deleted already off the bat. Arsenal slowing it down, taking his time with the space. He actually chips it over one. And G2, the chips start to show.
Yeah, no, G2, they were sitting pretty comfortably in defense for a lot of these exchanges. But that one demo has suddenly put Space Station in an advantageous position. Now G2 are panicking, double commit at the near post. Last man, JNaps makes the key save. Chicago is there to follow up. He doesn't get the reset right. Jumped a bit early there. Actually jumped off the ball instead of flipping into it. Space Station are all over them.
Another challenge in front. Oh, high ball for Hoxer. Wanted to keep it close. Drilled that ball away for Chicago. LJ underneath, forced to commit from G2, who just keep having to dive in front of their box for a save. Now Arsenal actually made that work over to Hoxer, but JNABs did enough to break up the passing play. Is it enough for G2, though, to breathe a little bit? Space Station grabbed the ball again. G2 start to get a couple more touches. And Space Station slowly losing it. A massive double commit leaves the net.
What?
No way! What? You can't go and miss that!
Chicago has just missed a wide open net. What on earth was that?
Whoa. G2, Chicago, he doesn't miss those. I guess Sathu's going to have to give him a talking to after that. What in the world?
I mean, G2 shooting has plagued them at times. Surely not again. Oh my goodness, Chicago hit the post again. But this time he barrels through the ball, and it turns out to be a good finish. Straight off the kickoff, Chicago has a chance to redeem himself. And I suppose he does. I mean, he kind of redeemed himself there. Not the most confident shooting by G2, but they've got the job done in game one.
Look, I'm convinced that, as long as you get the follow-up afterwards, if you make up for your own mistake, it doesn't matter. No one's ever going to remember that open net miss, Chicago, except for me. I'm going to remember. But a scary moment there for G2.
All I'm saying is, I don't think he tried to double tap it off the near post there. I'm pretty sure he was just trying to score. But that's a good thing about aiming near post, is if you do miss, then it is possible to rebound or even land on the ball. His first miss, he hits it towards the far post bottom corner away from Space Station. So when he misses, the ball just clears itself. Here it is again. I mean, Chicago, wide open net there. He had boost. He had all the time in the world, and he just completely beamed it. Gets the winning goal. That's going to settle any potential awkward nerves he might have been feeling there before game two, which I think he might be playing it. I think Space Station probably picked twos here.
Yeah, I don't see any ones option for any decent ones option against Atomic.
Not Arsenal? No?
I mean, losing 11-3 to Toasty is it's not something I want on my
I'm going to
profile.
defend Arsenal for a minute here. Listen.
Okay.
He's getting destroyed by Colin Stumpy for losing 11-3 to Toasty. Those scorelines, they do happen sometimes in 1v1. It's not completely out of this world to lose by scorelines like that. So I think, you can't judge a player like Arsenal off one game, and if he's been the player practicing 1v1s for this tournament, and Hoxer and LJ have been practicing twos for this tournament, I don't think you change your ones player just because of one game. I hope that they stick with it if we make it to game 4 to see the 1v1. Right now we do have 2v2 on your screen, as we were expecting. This is a more comfortable game mode for both of these teams. Will LJ, the world record holder for 2's MMR, team up with Hoxer to take down a proven duo of Chicago and Atomic?
Chicago going to start off here and just trying to get some kind of rhythm set up. Atomic next up has to buy some time for Chicago, but plenty of space as Hoxer up for the challenge. Atomic underneath him, got the catch and turns away on the challenge, trying to keep possession. It does force, or LJ does force them back with good protection on the ball. Twos, you get punished a little more often than threes for letting go of a touch. You got to be careful deciding when you decide to give another team possession and when decide to turn up the aggression. Can't all be one or the other. But for Hoxer and LJ, they're having some trouble getting set up. So LJ gets another clear downfield.
G2 playing a pretty safe style so far, both behind the ball, but sort of Space Station gaming. I've got a chance to cast LJ in some high-level 2s lobbies recently, and he actually turned out to be one of the more aggressive players out of all the top players in NA. When you look at Daniel in Beast Mode in 2s, First Killer, LJ, I think Chronic was also involved. LJ came out as one of the more aggressive out of that bunch, who like to sit behind the ball and get 100 boosts in defense a lot. Not so much LJ, quite happy to play with low boost, just to make life easier for his teammates. So if I was to guess, Hoxer's having a good time right now playing with this guy. So he was very easy to synergize with for everyone that I've seen him play with so far.
Well, they're still sticking to that safe rotation, but they've been losing this battle in the corner for possession. Well, Hoxer does get the boost spawn and a great clear. Chicago is sitting on the far side. Has to rotate out. Hoxer, 1v1 chance against Chicago, but Atomic coming back in, helping him out, and Chicago Kicking LJ out of the way. LJ winning 2, but he gets chipped, and that's enough. He misses the dish. A little bump killed his momentum, and he ran out of boost. He couldn't get it done.
Yeah, he just used all of his boost to get off the wall, and he couldn't get back to the ball. He needed to save just a little bit to send himself back towards the ball there. Alternatively, not jump off so far. Definitely a slight mechanical mistake there from LJ. I believe it was scoreable. Awkward nonetheless. A very, very technical shot to get right. He just could not finish it off. And it's right back to G2. Chicago on the end of Atomic's pop, but shut down by Hoxer, who's recovered well in the ceiling there. Very cautious game by both teams. And I mean, it makes sense for Space Station. They really can't afford to lose this.
Oh, Atomic going for the corner read. He gets a perfect bounce on the ramp for Chicago, but still it's a quick read for Hoxer to get. LJ, he just caught him out. Atomic couldn't get back in time. LJ sends one.
LJ, the only player who's really keeping an eye on where the ball's going to bounce there. Atomic just took a bit too long to identify the danger. He was hanging about near the ball just in case there was any kind of dribble he needed to shut down. Before he had any chance to recover, the shot's on target from distance. So, Atomic probably needed to back off a little bit more. They respect the clear. Another chance for Space Station. LJ's up quick for it. This is why he is the #1 2v2 player in North America when it comes to ranked. I mean, Daniel and Beast Mode might be the top combination. This guy is individually #1.
Chicago kind of rotated back into net, having to defend the shot. He was already coming back, having to make up for the 50 that Atomic couldn't win. And at that point, it was just too much. Hoxer knew exactly where to put it too high. Chicago couldn't respond. And this is where they may really start to figure it out, because Space Station get back in the 3v3. And they were starting to figure things out against G2. I mean, G2 certainly helped them out a bit. But Space Station winning this one, and they get one more chance at the 3v3 to take, take lead. Look at LJ go. He's looked great so far in the 2v2.
A very tricky play there from LJ, kind of turtling into position, hoping the ball will bounce up on top of him so he can just flip his car back over and get a surprising pop forwards. Didn't pan out, but still has G2 guessing. Minute to go. Atomic with a huge shot to top corner. It's another crossbar. G2, their worst enemy. Their accuracy once again. 1-2 pass fails to connect. G2 need to hit the target, and they need to do it soon, but they're just on top of each other. It's the Winter Major from 2022 all over again.
Oh, don't put that evil on them. Atomic buys Chicago a little bit of time. There's still some time left on the clock for Chicago. 49. Oh, well, that catch isn't going to get it done. Chicago wants the bump, giving Atomic a lane, and Atomic denied by LJ. Chicago tried to turn it back, but Hoxer clears it, and maybe G2 get one more chance at the net here. Chicago, nope, cut off by Hoxer and LJ, and that likely cleans up game 2.
That it was a disgusting save from LJ. He had about 12 boost, maybe 20. He just darted into his net, in and out save, timed to perfection to shut down the shot while being chased. I mean, he's done everything in this game. So impressed by Space Station Gaming's 2's team, but especially, LJ getting just such effective touches every time he's on the ball, and just being such a difficult player to get past. Hoxer, the perfect teammate for him. And these guys, they really look like they could be at that level of a Daniel Beast Mode. Or they could be at that CRR Raise Bull level as well. Bit of an unlucky play there from LJ, nearly getting the opening goal, but it didn't take long for him to sink a long shot into the G2 net. And from then on, it was pretty comfortable. Space Station, a deserved win, and now tying the series 1-1.
And LJ, not just in that 2v2, but even in the 3v3 that they lost, he was commanding the offense for Space Station on a lot of those plays. He's really had a great match so far. Now we're back into the 3v3. Space Station were able to tie things up against G2. G2 helped them out a little bit. Can Space Station get it done without G2's help? I mean, we still don't know if G2 will be giving it. We'll find out. Right now, Space Station, they have a big chance to really make G2 sweat. But that's a big demo from LJ, preventing the shot on net. One comes anyway, turned away to the side by Arsenal.
Yeah, a bit of physicality from both teams there. Bump landing from Space Station at the same time as the demo from G2, or I think vice versa. Kind of ended up being a pretty even position. Yeah, G2, like Chicago said in the pre-match interview, have had a bit more time to figure out how to manage their temperament in these games, in this format. They've just got to get the complete mental reset. It's different from 3v3 where You're doing the same game mode time and time again. It's easier to get into a rhythm.
Oh,
Are they going to be improved from last year, where they did look like they were struggling to perform to their usual 3v3 level after taking losses in other game modes?
I definitely think having your full roster certainly helps with that this time around. Chicago even talking about not playing a lot of games with Mist last year. Definitely plays into that mental factor a big time. But when you have your team, you have your coach Sathy with you, you have more of a chance to recover in those tight moments where you could tilt out or things don't go your way in a certain mode, and that rhythm is a little easier to find. Right now, though, Space Station playing a real physical game against G2. They've prevented a couple of passes that would have been pretty dangerous from G2. Here's one, Chicago trying to force Space Station to rush on defense, threatening the bump, and they finally break out again. A dead even pass, Chicago just a little too tight. Space Station get another breakout. LJ, one-on-one, flick, up high off the board, couldn't get the read.
Oh, that's so unlucky again for LJ. So close to making this shot work, and it almost works as a pass, but it bounces across the goal too quickly for Arsenal to catch up to. Space Station so far have looked pretty organized in defense in this game, and that's very promising for them. Usually the part of a new team that's harder to get going. A big touch in the corner by Atomic, and I don't think anyone saw that one coming from Space Station. Lots of space for Atomic now to make a solo play work. It looks like it's just gone a bit too far wide to really be a threat to Space Station. We're quite happy to leave in the corner. G2 again collide, but awkward as they trip over each other for the second game in a row.
They always seem to have a tight rotation. Like, I feel like they bump into each other more than all other teams. It's not even been a while since I've seen them do that, even outside of this tournament. But they still find a way to recover on most of those. I don't feel like they get punished nearly as much when those plays do happen, but I do think it's a product of how tightly they play together. You've seen second man especially really play tightly up close. Third man is playing wide and out to the side rather than back beyond midfield, and that can create some interesting rotations backwards. It can also put you in some trouble against a team like Space Station, who have proven to be very physical, that G2 haven't been. But Atomic just lets that ball roll off his hood, and Space Station again, excellent job managing on defense, not allowing too much pressure, although they have to pull off quickly as Chicago's double taken away.
Oh, really nice cut there in the midfield by Arsenal. Realized that the clear was going to be intercepted, so he made sure to get there first. Space Station survived yet another G2 offensive surge, but it's not done. Chicago fires down. A bump on the goal line sends the ball into the post. But once again, G2 just can't get the ball in between the sticks. It's been a problem for them all year, and it continues to plague them every now and then. Accuracy in the final third, not quite good enough for G2.
Is it enough for Space Station to punish LJ? Quick on the ball in midfield. And Arsenal was planning for that ball to come back across, so Hoxer now has to buy time for Space Station to get back. And they do. Arsenal and LJ working to get the ball downfield. LJ a close touch, sizing up his opposition in midfield. But Atomic just got such a monster clear. Nobody from Space Station was ready for it. There's another one, a little high off the bar. The ideas are there, the passing lanes are open, but the shots, they're not good enough. That one finally connects Chicago. First goal for G2.
Yeah, they were just in a lot of trouble here, Space Station Gaming. Hoxer flying back to try and be the hero, but he missed his touch. He was the only player with any kind of boost and momentum in the play. Chicago played the ball correctly, and they will take a late lead for the second time in a row in 3v3. And really, I can't complain too much of what I've seen from Space Station Gaming. They look pretty good in threes, but G2 are one of the best threes teams on the planet. This is what they do.
They're like the veteran team of Rocket League. It's just, every time you think that a team might finally be able to push out against them, you know, the teams that aren't named Gen G, FaZe, or otherwise top teams in the world, like G2 are the gatekeepers. That veteran presence proves time and again to be too difficult, and now G2, as long as they can put this ball on the ground, be one away from qualifying for Gamers 8.
Oh, hold on.
For a second time, but wait, Arsenal, polar flick, and it's still on the ramp. No chance at it. G2 got one more to go.
Oh, what a glorious opportunity for Arsenal, but he just beamed the flick at the worst possible moment straight into the ground. And they're going to need to win the 1v1 while down 2 match points. I think G2 overall definitely deserved that 3v3 win, though. They were the team with the majority of the pressure, the majority of the chances. And although Space Station's, you know, they had their looks here and there, and I got to keep saying, I love this new look LJ. The LJ is kind of just the boss of the team now that Daniel's vacated that spot. I think he's looking very dangerous and playing with authority on the ball. There was the crucial mistake there from Hoxer. Difficult ball to get to quickly. He didn't want to be too slow, knowing that Chicago would make a touch if he doesn't. But yeah, just missed the key touch. A very awkward defensive touch into the corner, allowing G2 the win.
I think this is going to be a tough one coming up for Space Station. We watched Atomic earlier. Atomic played a really solid game, 1v1 game against Cosmic, who has been really good in 1v1 lately. So him against whoever Space Station pick, if it is Arsenal again, let's find out. And it looks like LJ is going to be taking the pitch. So LJ versus Atomic. What's your take on this one, Johnny?
I'm just disappointed we don't get the Arsenal redemption arc. I mean, I think Arsenal, he's actually a very smart 1v1 player historically. You know, might not be as active as he once was, but there was certainly a time where Arsenal was a dangerous player to anyone in the NA1 scene. LJ going to give it a go against Atomic here. I would say nothing to lose because Atomic played quite well earlier, but they do in fact have this series to lose if they can't get the win here, so that wouldn't be true. LJ just doing a little bit of a parallel parking maneuver there before collecting the ball. Rarely seen in 3v3, but reversing bigger part of 1v1 than any other game mode in RL. Oh, that's a great chance for Atomic. LJ didn't have the boost to really throw himself at it though. Atomic does. Here comes the counter.
And one thing against Cosmic that impressed me with Atomic was he got Cosmic to bite on almost every single fake challenge. Now this time he does get the bump. Pretty big. He had no boost. Now he's got midfield. Now he's got a full tank in towards reset. The bar really is killing G2 in every game mode right now. There's another one. Forces LJ to bite. Atomic putting on some good pressure right now. LJ trying to manage, but he's having some difficulties.
Yeah, if Atomic plays this sequence correctly, he does have LJ dead to rights here. The boost is about to spawn behind him. He reverses back into it. So LJ is just managing such little boost right now. Atomic does find a way through. I mean, LJ surviving for a while there, but the goal was on its way. As long as Atomic kept stealing the boost, kept on putting on pressure with little shots here and there, that's exactly what he did.
Now LJ having to respond here off this kickoff. I think the big thing with Atomic is it feels unfazed even when he does have a lot of pressure behind him. I know we probably over talk about G2 being such a veteran team, but Atomic, he's the most mechanical player on G2. Yeah. And if he's beaten you and he's not even unlocked his mechanics, that's a scary place to be.
Yeah, and it's a lot of mechanical plays are just things like this, just being in the right place that you can make a quick reflex save. You know, it looks like more of a positional thing, but Atomic he knows his limits, and he knows the limits of his opponent as well. Another save while shadowing. Atomic with some great reactive defense here. Now decides to throw himself forward to the play. How's the recovery? Good enough. Atomic survives 3 consecutive shots with a little bit of reactive play, a little bit of proactive play. Wow. It's going to keep LJ guessing.
Really tight. No one leaving the play early to go get a canister. Everyone relying on, or both players relying on pads with how close it was playing. Atomic didn't take himself out of the rotation. Worked well to get out on defense. Now he's got to pop up here. See where LJ's going to go with it. Atomic forced him to the air again. Enough challenge from LJ, but he's out of boost. He's got to manage the ball. And he's got the boost and the ball now. Atomic, though, full tank to defend him. LJ on the reset. Atomic gets the block. The man can't be beat on defense. Now he flips in front. Got the pad, the recovery. The shot is too high. He cannot hit. He can't hit under the bar.
He's conceding as well. He just took a second shot out of rage. And LJ walks it in. Oh, no. Atomic did so well. He had the defensive pre-jump, the counter-attack with a quarter flip to set himself up. But he hits the bar. And then instead of just playing the ball to a safe location, he overextends with a very ill-advised angle shot and has conceded. We've got another low-scoring game here. Space Station and G2 go to the break.
Yeah, you'd think we were in a 3v3 almost, but Daniel Raisbull was also 2-1. That had me scratching my head. Here we go again. Atomic on the catch, wants his boost. He's over LJ.
Oh.
This one might be in. No,
Oh.
LJ follows through him. He wasn't over him at all. LJ was sailing right underneath him. And LJ now trying to move. Almost got that recovery in time, but he still forces it through Atomic. Can he get around the ball in time? A little tight. Oh, he tried to squeeze it. Too risky, but is it risky? Atomic had no boost. He had to go back. LJ can recover. Wait, one more, Johnny. Here comes Atomic. Resets there. Tried it on the 50. Now LJ gets the break. That should be it right there. Goal for LJ.
You know, this is where it's starting to fall apart for Atomic. You know, I think he played a great counter-attacking style against Cosmic earlier on today. He punished Cosmic for overextending, but now that he's the one who has to go forward, you can just see that he's not quite as familiar with these positions. He doesn't know if he should be going all in, if he should be shooting, or if he should just be playing for a long-term advantage. And those, you know, kind of weaknesses are starting to show. He might have the kickoff goal, though. He does. We've got another tie game. Atomic pushes the ball around the inside of LJ's shoulder. It's a great strength there with the 50-50. We are even again.
Well, just when you thought LJ finally built up a little bit, that's the fun of 1v1. Even if he goes up another on that kickoff, still a minute 15 and plenty of time. This time the kickoff straight neutral.
Oh, look
LJ
at this.
just made it all his. Ends it full, and there we go for LJ.
That's a fantastic shot from LJ. He had to beat Atomic to this. Atomic was just a split second later to the ball. LJ sinks it just underneath the crossbar. He needed to be so quick with that one. It's a counter kickoff goal from LJ. They both had one on each other back to back. Now LJ's going to wave dash off the landing to take control in the back corner. Lovely adaptation there from LJ. Just controlling the play beautifully, and he has sunk the open net. Atomic again overextending an attack. LJ just a bit too consistent.
Now it's just about managing this next kickoff and beyond for LJ. Hey, we've been talking, you talked, Johnny, about how you've been impressed with him in this series so far. And he comes in on the 1v1 against Atomic, who looked solid earlier, built up this 2-goal lead.
Love that.
Atomic on the kickoff, can't take it away. It's a big time for LJ to give his team one last chance for qualification. And uppers, and he can't make the grab. Atomic, one left to go.
Yeah, LJ got just a bit lost there. You can see that he wanted to pressure the ball. He did not want to give Atomic space to turn and shoot, but he didn't pick up any more than, I think we had one small boost pad on his way. Needed just maybe one or two more to stabilize that position. Atomic did so well, though, to set up a shot from an awkward angle. He's got to find another one, though. 45 seconds to do it, and LJ's stolen his boost away. Really nice fake challenge there from LJ as well. He's got Atomic jumping at nothing. The demo connects. LJ's going to score a fifth. Atomic, a bit of a sitting duck at the edge of the box. He did not see it coming. That's just a classic play from LJ there. You see, Atomic did actually jump, but not fast enough. LJ up by 2.
No water left in the pond for Atomic. A drought in game 4. In the end, can LJ really stick it to him here? He wins the kickoff. Atomic flipping back. I don't think he's gonna. Oh, he got there. LJ, though, sends it back. And I tell you what, Johnny, I know like the full flying, you know, double reset, musty attempts and everything, like maybe that's about to happen right here.
Like this?
Wait, he's just gonna drop it. Oh, smart to go for the low 50. LJ's coming down. You have advantage as the attacker in that situation. Now he gets LJ to play again, and Atomic. LJ's just his puppet, and he's dangling on the strings.
Oh, it's just like, I'm just screaming here. Just shoot. Just for goodness sake, shoot the ball. LJ's he's jumping at nothing here. But Atomic does find the angle. That is a brilliant shot from just outside of the goal. 13 seconds to go. Atomic has been losing the majority of kickoff possessions, but he might be able to half flip into one here. Yes, he does. He grabs the mid boost. Now he's going to have the flip reset as he gets the ceiling bounce, tries to get the 50-50 win, wave dash recovery, mind game, but LJ plays the ball and wins it for SSG. We are going to sort this one out in game 5.
Oh man, I got so excited there. Use the wave dash to recover to get back around the ball. I'm like, oh, if he gets that on his hood, he can get the flick, he can send it, but LJ kept it down. Oh man, that got
so close.
That was so close. This one is turning out real fun, and now we end things on the 3v3 for qualification into Gamers 8 and more money for charity. But Atomic, he couldn't get it done, and LJ continues to be the center for Space Station Gaming.
Yeah, LJ played such a good game there. I mean, some of these saves were incredible by LJ to, you know, really show us something that we're not familiar with about his game. I mean, he's not known for his 1v1 gameplay, but defensively, he really made this difficult for Atomic, and he took his chances. right at the end of the game, Atomic pulls it back to a 1-goal difference with a beautiful mind game and a slow play. But it was that last chance. He won the kickoff possession with a half flip and then another flip into the boost, but overhit the first touch. He really wanted a nice, slow air dribble there, but he accidentally hit it into the ceiling. So I think he got the flip reset around about the same time the ball was hitting the ceiling. Very difficult to control that. I can't really blame him for losing that one at the last second. We are going to end this one in 3v3. G2 have won both of the 3v3 so far. This is, kind of the story of the match. G2 are just this good in 3v3 that you expect them to come out on top. Space Station have made it as difficult as they can for them. They beat them in 2s and 1s. LJ carrying them into Game 5.
Yeah, I think the big question for Space Station is how do you handle this G2 pressure for the 2 straight 3v3 games that you've had? You've been out-pressured, you've been outshot. You haven't been able to really get much done in the blue half. When you are playing defense, for the most part, it looks great. But if you're playing 4 minutes of defense, you're typically going to lose the game. Hoxer and Arsenal going to push forward. The physical game seemed to work for them early, but what's your make on the last 3v3 chance for Space Station, Johnny?
It's really difficult because G2 have been a bit inaccurate. They've given Space Station some looks at the goal, but overall it has looked G2 favored. So, Space Station have just got to decide whether or not they want to just go full send here and just start taking some more risks, or do they try to catch G2 on a downward game after another loss. I don't think G2 are going to tilt here. Chicago said that's their big thing about this format, is just getting the reset after losing another game mode. So this is the big test. Can they do it again? They did it in Game 3. Space Station are definitely a good match for them. G2 have been better.
Next up, JNAPS gets that boost steal, but that's a massive clear for Space Station. Atomic had come back quickly. And that just broke the rhythm that G2 were setting. Arsenal, nothing for him. G2 just throw it right back to the orange half. Oh, and an ill-advised touch. Not one you want if you're Space Station.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. It's Hoxer, the new signing. He's trying to knock the ball into the back corner right next to the wall. He does not want that to bounce off the crossbar and in front of the goal. But he's actually hit an impossible angle redirected to his own net while doing so. So a good idea there from Hoxer, but just gets the touch a bit wrong. Didn't get enough on it. Now here comes G2 again. JNAPS with a monstrous double tap from near post at breakneck speed.
Oh, that is a fast one. 139 kilometers of pain from JNAPS. LJ, I mean, that shot was between blinks. There was no way he was getting to that ball.
Yeah, and it looks at this point really tough for SSG. You look at the road ahead of them and you think, oh man, how are they supposed to make it through G2? Half the game gone, and G2 are just in the full swing of things now. And lower bracket, they've got Optic waiting for them. I mean, it doesn't get any easier, but this is the ideal match for them. I think this is your 4th and 5th best team in this tournament right here. So you can't really ask for anything different. Complexity, V1, Optic, all terrifying teams in this format. So this was the one for SSG based on their other game mode wins. They needed just one game in 3v3. Right now it looks like they're going to lose all 3. So it's their own fault, really. But G2 have played so well. You can't really blame them too much.
Arsenal tried to stretch with that reset. LJ pulling Atomic out. This is working for Space Station. Arsenal gets the catch.
Oh, no.
Can't wrap around it. The inputs going wrong for Space Station at the wrong time. Now to commit. LJ useless in the air behind his teammate. Arsenal all by himself, and he barely gets the grab. Yeah,
Space Station is really stretching here, trying to get shots from difficult angles. They've been so starved of opportunities that they feel like they have to go for everything. And they do still have 90 seconds to go. Do they have any firepower left? Chicago going to try and put this one beyond all doubt here. He's got a double commit in defense from SSG, but LJ is still in the play. It's hard clear, more of a pass to G2's defense, who are waiting patiently for the ball.
Yeah, Arsenal kind of dove at that one, didn't he? Atomic just let him. Easy full field clear for Atomic. Oh, Hoxer lets it drop. The ideas are there. But then that final execution, either the shot's weak or they can't actually get it on target. And G2 have been double committing in front of the net. But at Space Station, the rotation has not allowed them to punish those mistakes, even if A double didn't really lead to an opening. Oh, that's a great pass. But they save it anyway. Here comes another one. Maybe they get this across. It's a bit awkward for JNAP. Pre-flip to get the block. He does push LJ off the ball, but everyone from Space Station was beyond the midfield line. That's not going to get it done. Chicago drops it straight down, and G2 clean up game 5.
SSG, they had pressure, but they backed off. The synergy a bit lacking in offense there. Chicago makes the air dribble bump work. He had a bit of a reset off that as well. Brilliant mechanics by Chicago to put G2 3 goals ahead. They're on the fast track to the upper final. Be taking place tomorrow unless can SSG do something. So far, they've been pretty lacking of chances, but there's one. 34 seconds to go.
Good catch and then delayed flick from Arsenal. Not even a bad recovery there from Atomic. Well, let's see what happens here on the kickoff. This is crunch time. You want it goal, with at least 15 seconds left. That gives you a chance for one, maybe 2 tries with time, or really just one solid try with time on the clock.
Wait.
It's happening, bro.
Wait.
Actually,
what?
Actually a 6-second goal off the kickoff. What a bounce.
Oh, what speed by Hawkser was just too fast. JNAPS was not up in the air slowly for that one, but he misread it. And Hawkser snipes LJ, who's there to make the goal a bit bigger. 28 seconds is a long time. Now they're just 1 goal back.
This is like 4 chances maybe if they can get the ball. Oh, Atomic. Not a lot of boost here, but he's actually over 1. And Hawkser last man back for Space Station. LJ coming in the rear. Do they have it here? LJ going close against the corner. Oh, that was a nasty double attempt, but he couldn't get power. He really didn't make contact at all. Now one more chance for Space Station. Arsenal back in front of the ball. Got the 50. LJ sizing it up. No time left. LJ on another 50. Up high for Hawkser. It's got to be Arsenal. He's got to buy time. LJ on the far side. Hawkser getting underneath. Reset. LJ barely gets there. They're racing back. This is looking this is looking harder rather. Off the ceiling. LJ, that one looks like it's on the ground. G2 qualify for Gamers 8, moving on, and Space Station fall to the lower bracket.
Oh, valiant effort from SSG. They had the 2v2 win. They had the 1v1 win. But unfortunately for them, despite 3 tries, they just cannot beat G2 in 3v3. I mean, this is just a very G2 series, isn't it, in this format? They're a 3v3 team through and through. But when you got 3 teams that this format's made for, and then a team like G2, yeah, they're just likely to make it through, aren't they? Definitely, I think the easier side of the bracket based on what we've seen so far today. But they've definitely deserved top 4. G2, they've beaten their main competition on this side of the bracket, SSG. They beat Koi earlier on as well, who I believe have advanced to the lower bracket quarterfinals. So both of the teams from this side of G2's bracket that have made lower bracket round 2, G2 sent them there. So they've deserved top 4. How far can they go? We'll find out tomorrow. But they have qualified for Gamers 8. Awesome job by G2 Esports.
Absolutely. Space Station, they still have a chance in the lower bracket, but I am curious what the desk thinks, what Banks thinks. Let's head back to them and talk to our analysts.